Welcome back to Gaming Night. I'm your host, G.A.M.E.R here, and today, welcome to another review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Mortal Kombat 1. That is right. The most recent NetherRealm Studios game, published in 2023. And, look, I've already played a lot of this game. I'm a little late to review, so sorry about that. But I've been trying to go through and do a bunch of reviews for a lot of games that came out in 2023. We're almost at the point where 2024 games are going to start releasing, so we're going to start hopping on that. But I thought I'd go ahead and get my thoughts on this one, because if you guys have been a long viewer of the channel, or you know me, you know that NetherRealm Studios is one of my favorite studios in all of gaming, and that fighting games is one of my favorite genres, and Mortal Kombat is definitely among my favorite fighting game franchises. And honestly, just one of my favorite franchises in general. I absolutely love Mortal Kombat and all of its characters and just its gameplay and its stories and all that. And yeah, so Mortal Kombat 1, we waited a little longer for this one than we typically do for most NRS games. NRS meaning NetherRealm Studios, for those of you who don't know. Typically, they have a pattern. It was every 2 years they would release a game. It was Mortal Kombat 9, then Injustice, then Mortal Kombat 10, then Injustice 2, then Mortal Kombat 11. We should have gotten Injustice 3 in 2021, but no, no, we did not. We got pretty much a 3-year gap, a 3-4 year gap. I think it might have even been 4 years. Low-key. Yeah, I think it was like a 4-year gap, because in 2023, we ended up getting Mortal Kombat 1. There was no Injustice 3. There was no Mortal Kombat 12. It was Mortal Kombat 1 4 years later. I know it's a little weird, because like we're going back to 1 after 11, which is weird. But basically, this game is a complete refresh of the entire franchise. It is going back to ground zero. It's going back to basics, doing a bunch of origin stories for a bunch of the characters. And while it's continuing where 11 left off, it is resetting the timeline, pretty much. And that's kind of the whole premise of why it's 1 and just why it's taken so long. And I have to say, I absolutely love it. I think it's a really good Mortal Kombat game. I don't think it's the best one. I don't even know if I'd say, I don't know where I would rank all the NRS games, like at the top of my head, but it's definitely not my favorite, but I do love it a heck of a lot. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into it. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get started with obviously the biggest thing about fighting games, and that's the fighting mechanics. And I think this game is, of course, just like any Mortal Kombat, really fun when it comes to the fighting. It's my favorite fighting of NRS fighting styles, like fighting systems are my favorite systems of all fighting games. It's just, I don't know, it's just the ones that I relate to the most and I can get good the easiest with. Injustice 2 being the top of that list. I'm a freaking monster at that game. But yeah, the gameplay is super fun. It's super smooth, and I think all the characters are pretty interesting. I think this time around, one of my big issues with Mortal Kombat 11 was that some of the characters felt underdeveloped. Felt like they put way more effort into some characters than others. Whereas this one, I felt like everybody got the proper treatment. I feel like everybody can, with all the moves and abilities that they've gotten, are utilizing their powers and their character to their full potential. Like Sub-Zero, for instance, Mortal Kombat 11, I don't know what happened. They did Sub-Zero so dirty. He had, like, if you did not have any kind of, like, customization abilities equipped, he only had, like, 2 ice abilities on his base moveset. Whereas this one, there's, like, 6 or 7 of them. So, and, like, the moves he got are like really represent like what would this character do if he had the ability to make ice things. And I think this game really shows it. I mean, he crafts ice spears, hammers, slides, walls, clones, ice balls. He does so much stuff. And that's what I really like. I like when the characters really showcase who they are through their gameplay, and I feel like this game did that really well. And that is one of my favorite things about fighting games, is just having the characters and having to be able to play as them and feel like the character. And that's why I love fighting games, and I think this game does that almost perfectly. I think it's really good what they did with the gameplay. And not only that, but I personally don't have an issue. I know there was a big issue leading up to launch about it being slow. I do not feel that whatsoever. I think it is a very fast-paced game, and I love it. And then the whole cameo system, that's like a new feature when it comes to this game's fighting, is that you have a cameo. It's like this character to the side who assists you whenever you call them in. I think that is a really cool addition. I will say I did not really use it as much as I probably should have. I know it's a huge part of the like competitive scene, and I'm not really a part of the competitive scene, but I think it's really cool what they did. I think it's really clever. I think a lot of the things that you're able to do is really fun. Like the times I did use it, I was like, that's so cool. Like I'm glad they added that in. I would love to see them bring that back. Yeah, I just didn't use it as much as I probably should have, but that's not a knock on the game. That's a knock on me. So, but I think it's really cool. The fact that they're able to add a bunch of other characters other than the base roster, I think is just a really good idea and a really good plan that they should move forward with, for sure. But, yeah, other than that, the gameplay, man, I really don't have any complaints about the gameplay. Yeah, I just have fun. The fatalities are awesome as always. The fatal blows are awesome. I don't think, do they have crushing blows? I don't remember if they have crushing blows. I honestly can't remember if they do or not. Oh gosh. But yeah, it's just really, really awesome. So now the next part of the game that I'm gonna talk about is probably, I mean, outside of the obvious gameplay. I mean, gameplay is always gonna be your favorite thing when it comes to like a fighting game. But like, my other favorite thing about this game is its story mode. Its story mode was awesome. It is definitely my favorite story mode out of a Mortal Kombat game. I will say that. It is definitely my favorite story out of a Mortal Kombat game. And the fact that we did get a bunch of origin stories, the fact that we got improved visuals, really improved in visuals in this game. I loved it. I loved all the moments. I felt like every chapter was just super fun, super exciting. I thought the ending was awesome. Truly like an Avengers Endgame moment, man. Like, it's very rare that games do this, where the ending is just so, like, everything just, like, they literally just push it to the max, I feel like. And that's what I kind of felt like with this ending, is like, dang, this is really like that Avengers Endgame moment, you know, where like just everything comes full circle, and it's just like the big finale, even though it's really not a finale because they tease stuff at the end. But yeah, the story is really great. The characters have such great moments. I can't get over how many character arcs I really love. Johnny and Kenshi's character arc is by far the greatest character arc in the whole story, and that's not knocking all the other ones. It is just so good. It is so good. I cried. I cried whenever Johnny gave Kenshi the sword, dude. That, oh, just thinking about it, dude, that hits me in the feels. But yeah, I thought a lot of the character arcs had great just great development. And I think that the antagonist was okay. That's the only part I'm not like super thrilled about. I don't think the antagonist was all that great. The whole like, I don't know, was she even called Chronica? I don't know. The Chronica Rebirth lady was not super developed. I don't feel like she really was in 11 either. And then Shang Tsung and Quan Chi being pretty much the main villains throughout the whole thing are, I mean, we've seen it before, but they do a good job, so, you know, that is what it is. But yeah, like I said, man, all the characters had great. Sub-Zero's character arc with Scorpion and Smoke, the whole that whole thing was also like just awesome. Yeah, I really just love the story, man. I really do love the story. But I don't want to spoil too much, so we're gonna go and move on. I just mentioned it earlier. The visuals, oh my, they are gorgeous. I have to say, obviously the characters look great, the special effects look great, graphics look great. I mean, that's obvious. Fatal blows, moves, all that stuff look great. The most impressive thing in this game, and honestly that I've seen in almost any game, are the backgrounds. The backgrounds of the arenas are elite. When I say elite, I do not mean that lightly. They are top of the class visuals. Oh my gosh, especially the Johnny Cage mansion. When you're looking in the background and you see that city with like the pool and with everything. Oh my gosh, dude, that is so good. That is the backgrounds in all the stages are just incredible. There's so much fidelity, so many layers, so much color depth, so much detail. It looks so epic. It looks so epic. It looks so awesome. And that's one of my favorite things while playing the game. Is just admiring the backgrounds because they're so cool looking. Yeah, they really just made me go crazy. But outside of the background, like I said, everything else looks great. I mean, it's definitely the most realistic we've seen, which is kind of scary for a Mortal Kombat game. And you know, it's definitely the most detailed. Obviously we're using modern technology, so it's gonna look better, so it's really hard to say stuff about the visuals, but when we get something new and really exciting like those backgrounds, that's what really makes it shine. And then music wise, I don't know, the music, I mean, music's just Mortal Kombat. I don't know, I feel like there's really only one song in Mortal Kombat that means anything, and that's the main theme, and I'm not really sure they used that at all. I don't remember if they did or not. So yeah, but otherwise it was just kind of it was whatever. There is one major issue with this. Actually, there's two major issues with this game, which unfortunately drag it down a lot. Well, I guess both of these could be classified as one thing if you put them. It's progression. Your progression through the game, it sucks. It sucks. So there's the two individual issues. Number one, microtransactions have ruined this game's grind, okay? There is no reason to grind this game unless you are willing to do microtransactions. Number two, the customization is very weak, in my opinion, compared to Injustice 2 and Mortal Kombat 11's, right? Which were their last two games. The customization compared to those is very weak and very underwhelming and disappointing, in my opinion, because I was really looking forward to that. There is customization, and what's there is decent, but they took so much of it out that it's just not very exciting anymore. And not only that, but then when you cross that with terrible progression, the fact that microtransactions have plagued that game, yeah, it after you're done with the story, and after you're done with invasion mode, which is actually really cool. I forgot to mention that. The invasion mode is really, really cool. I really enjoyed invasion mode. After you get done with those two things, I don't really want to do anything else. I didn't really want to do... I did play online matches for like a week and a half or something, but after that, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done. Because I just didn't really feel like there was any point in playing because there was no real incentive to do that. Once you got your mastery level for your main characters, which mine is Sub-Zero and Raiden, and Reptile, then there's not really much to do. And that's my big issue. While I loved everything I played in the game, it's not like it's the best Mortal Kombat has ever had to offer. And it's not like this is some of the best things of the entire year. Like, while I did say the visuals are amazing, they're not the greatest visuals of the year. Not that that matters. It doesn't have to be. But when you take a core gameplay element such as progression and customizations, which is one of the most important things for the longevity of a game and for the commitment of players in your game. Once you get past the face value of the game, once you get past the main stuff in the game, there's not really much left to do, and that was my big issue with the game. Now, DLC characters have kind of helped with that. I have gone back to the game a couple times for the DLC characters, which are great as well. The DLC characters are great. But yeah, dude, my biggest issue is just that after I finished what I enjoyed, I was pretty much done. Whereas Injustice 2 and Mortal Kombat 11 were the opposite. I finished the stuff and I was grinding for weeks, months. I mean, Injustice 2, I have so many hours in. And this one I just don't. I just don't. So with that said, we have great gameplay as always. We have and some new and refreshing ideas like cameos and stuff like that. We have a phenomenal story, one of the, in my opinion, the best part of the game. We have great visuals, stunning visuals. We have decent music. We have terrible progression, terrible microtransaction problems, bad customization. Oh, I forgot to mention, the roster in this game is strong. Very strong roster. I love the roster. I remember watching all the trailers leading up to the game, and I was just like, dude, this is what we want. This is what we're here for. This is so great. Now the only other thing that I'm gonna say, which is kind of a negative, is it's not really their fault. I feel like this is kind of a unjust critique, is that I don't really feel like it was worth the wait, if that makes sense. Because like I said, we had a pattern. Every 2 years we were getting a Mortal Kombat Injustice, Mortal Kombat Injustice, Mortal Kombat Injustice. Oh, we didn't get a third Injustice. But when you have that for over a decade, and then you make us wait double the amount of time, and we get a game that honestly is, I'm just going to go say it now, that I don't necessarily enjoy as much as some of the past ones, I don't really feel like the wait was worth it. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't have to wait 4 years. I understand game development is hard, and I understand all that. I'm not saying that how dare they take 4 years, but they built it up to be such this like big thing, like it was going to change the whole scape of NetherRealm Studios, when I feel like it was just a more honestly underdeveloped Mortal Kombat game. That's really all I felt. I felt like they should have been more transparent, and I understand COVID also happened, so that also set it back. But I do feel like they could have been more transparent, and just because instead they were just hyping it up, and they were making it seem like that we were waiting for a reason. And I don't feel like the game just justified that. But nonetheless, it is still a great game. No matter the critiques that I've said, it is a great game. It is a great fighting game. It is my favorite fighting game of 2023. I'm just say it there. Now, Tekken 8's gonna blow both of them out the water. I'm telling you right now, just because I played the demo and oh my god, it is so good. But yeah, I'm gonna clock this game in. I'm gonna clock it in at a solid 8 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. Outside of post-game content, from start to finish, I loved it. From that first 2 weeks of this game were amazing, absolutely amazing. I loved every minute of it. But after those 2 weeks, it really fell flat. But that's where I'm gonna leave it. But thank you all so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, definitely leave a like, leave a comment section down below provided, and please subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. G.A.M.E.R out.